Which gets me on to something we've got coming up today.
Oh yeah, he's got a new idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know, like, I've talked about ghosts, and we had that good discussion the other week walking to Piccadilly Circus Station, and I was telling you about ghosts, and you were saying, Carl, don't be an idiot, and all that. Spoke to a woman in the week, done a little interview with her.
You've done a little interview?
Done a little interview, 2 minutes or so, with a woman who's got ghosts in her house. So,
I look forward to hearing that later. That sounds brilliant.
Coming up later.
Well, I'm gonna play a classic tune now. I've just gone straight for it. I've gone for the jugular. This is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Carl's also nervous. You had a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in.
To the show?
Yeah. And Carl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, I just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. You used to do radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because of the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along, so...
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told him since, but they've promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kinda going, bollocks. So, he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV. I mean, what's he gonna make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I'll just press the buttons.
No, it's just, you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan?
No, just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to me dad once, I think, and sort of said, oh, you go to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing. Is that what you're talking about? So there's a parents' evening, so he went
said, what kid?
He went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she? Yeah. Well, I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well.
She'd turn on to MTV when, I don't know, like their slamming session.
Yeah.
And they go, that's young Pilkington. He's bald, but it's definitely him.
I recognise that woolly hat.
yeah.
Nelly, Ride With Me. That's featuring City Spud. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there we are. Good, nice summer tune.
Carl, tell Steve what you just told me when Steve was in the toilet then.
Right, you know, I'd just been away with my mum and dad and that. And one of the things I always like doing is having a good chat with my dad about stuff he got up to when he was a kid and that.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause he got up to loads of stuff, and every time I see him, he tells me something, and I think, well, it's like, why are you just telling me that now? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, to me, he's kind of like Ronnie Biggs or someone. He's just the most extraordinary kind of.
Well, this happened, right? I can't remember. There was a delay yesterday. There was problems on the Paddington line, and he was saying, "Oh, trains aren't what they used to be."
Sure.
He said, you know, I was looking.
They used to be horses, didn't they?
Well, he was looking in the booklet, and it was saying, "Oh, you can have your bags collected if you want, but it costs you £5."
Yeah.
So that's outrageous.
Sure, of course.
Right. So he said that's the problem with this country. We've got good with computers and that, but when it comes to, like, getting service, it's gone out the window.
Yeah.
Right? So he said, when I worked on the trains, you know, and he was going on like this, that and the other, so I said, oh, I didn't know you worked on the trains. He said, yeah, when I was 18, right, it was his job to get the coal, right, and chuck it in the engine. Right? And one day he's in Grand Central Station in Manchester, which is now the GMX Centre.
Right.
Right? And that was like the main station. And he was in there. The fella who should have been sort of driving the train, right? He said, oh, I'm just nipping to the pub.
Sure.
So you just stay here, keep the engine topped up and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, all right.
For a quick getaway.
Yeah.
Right? So the fella goes in the pub, and my dad's in there, you know, putting the coal on. He did his bacon and eggs on a little shovel.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, fella comes up. He says, right, can you move the train forward now?
Oh, blimey.
So he was like, oh. So he didn't want to say, oh, the fella's in the pub, because he'd know we'd say, oh, what's he doing in the pub? He should be working, right? So he said, yeah, no problem, I'll sort it out. Right, so he puts it into gear, or whatever you do on them trains.
Sure,
right?
puts it into first, yeah.
Starts going forward. Now, people who don't know about trains, something that I learnt, is if you're carrying a load of coal or whatever on the back of it, they don't have brakes on each carriage, right? It's only the engine that has brakes on it. So when you pull the brakes on the engine, the whole weight of what it's pulling is pushing you forward.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't realise this though, because he's just used to cooking bacon and eggs and chucking coal.
Of course, yeah. So you've got to slam the brakes on sooner than you would normally.
Yeah.
Well, you have to anticipate it, I suppose. Yeah.
But he didn't know that,
course
so
he didn't,
he's
yeah.
pulling in, he's thinking, right,
Well, he's a Pilkington.
I'll put the brakes on now.
Yeah.
Right? Puts the brakes on, the train just keeps going, he's going, oh god, it's not stopping.
Sure.
It ploughs right through the signal box. Right? Loads of damage.
pulling the singles, don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Loads of damage done. Apparently, if it was today's money,
Yeah.
it'd be about £3 to £4 million worth of damage. It shut the station off for 4 weeks. But he didn't lose his job. The fella lost his job, the one who was in the pub.
Yeah.
He said the funny thing was, he said like £4 million worth of damage. He did his ankle, his wrist in. He had 3 weeks off sick and got paid. So it's brilliant. So
I love your family.
It's extraordinary. The Pilkington gene.
weird, isn't it?
I'd like to see a documentary following you and your family. You'd have to get the family involved.
No, this is the sort of stuff my dad goes on about. They'd never put it on telly.
Well, it's time. Well,
Go on.
that time, isn't it?
Yeah. Play the jingle.
Yeah. White van man, Carl.
Brilliant. Recorded at great expense, that jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we just hijack an idea from The Sun, which is White Van Man, where The Sun asks, in this instance, a cabbie by the look of it. Oh no, a fruit and veg shop owner.
Ours is slightly different because the Sun sort of like pick on a perfectly normal member of the public.
Exactly.
So that's where we've got the
the upper hand.
twist. Yeah.
And they ask him about the the hot potatoes. This week, Carl, my first question to you, well, your thoughts, please, on the criticism of the BBC over their coverage of the Queen Mum's death. What do you make of this? You're aware of all the criticism that Peter Sissons asked some probing questions?
No, I thought it was
wore a
just-
burgundy tie.
I thought that's it. Yeah, he just had it didn't show respect. He just had a burgundy tie on.
See, that's not really not showing respect, is it?
No, it's not.
You know, you show your respect by sort of doing the news on it, giving her a bit of coverage, and showing, you know,
Bit of publicity.
what a good woman she was or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you move on to sport news or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
I don't like the way everything's morbid. I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, the way in birthday cards and that, people always put funny things in them. I think you should save things like that for funerals, for like funeral cards and that, and try and cheer people up at times when they're low. Do you know what I mean? Because on your birthday you're quite happy anyway, so you don't need someone putting a funny comment in a card. I think, you know, when you send a card.
What would you suggest?
Well, you know,
Whoopee cushion, but on the vicar's chair. How would you liven
no,
up the
the
funeral?
sermon.
just little things in the card. I mean, you're just writing stuff like, well, you know, at least you're still alive or whatever.
So as you're giving the eulogy...
So, that'd be good. So supposing someone's husband's killed in a car crash, you go around with some flowers and a little card, and it says, "At least you're still alive."
Well, maybe something funnier than that.
Well, maybe, like, if you got up to give the eulogy during a funeral, just wear a pair of comedy tits.
Yeah. Or those glasses that are eyes on sort of
Yeah.
springs.
But why has everyone got to be so sad
I
about
agree.
someone dying?
No, what annoys me is that when you see the people on television, these sort of members of the public, and they're crying about the Queen Mother, who was sad when anyone dies, sad when anyone nan dies. She was 102, and what you know, I mean, it's sort of like I think they should cry.
Well, there's a picture in the paper
I
today.
don't understand it.
There's a picture in the paper today of various people who were lining the the funeral kind of route
Yeah.
yesterday, and there's a picture of a very young child, maybe sort of 5 or 6, on the arms of her dad, and her head bowed, and it says a young girl there weeps for the Queen Mother. And I was looking at it, and you can tell she's just tired.
Well,
She's just
doesn't
tired
know,
and
why
bored.
would
It's
she
so
cry?
transparent that it's not crying. It's
Most
just
people
what are
don't
we
cry
doing
when their
here?
nan dies.
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of like.
But what is a 5-year-old girl gonna be? Why is she gonna be crying? The Queen Mum said, "Oh, I can't believe it."
Yeah.
Teletubbies? No, the Queen Mum. Oh, not the tweenies. No, it's on in a minute.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
I mean, I know. I'm sure, you know, I don't know much about her. I don't know if she was a great woman, and obviously, you know, it's always sad when someone dies. But it's like, it's interesting that there was a lot of tourists in that long line of people that are now queuing from hours upon hours to see her dying in state. Because it's clearly just people who want to be a part of
Must be
history.
gutting if you're over from Sweden and you find out that the Queen Mum's died.
Oh,
I mean,
you must be devastated.
you probably don't want to carry on with your visit.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay, listen, Carl.
I think we've covered that.
What do you make of the? What do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do?
Let me see what it says here. It
Well,
says,
isn't it just choosing the, you know, eye colour?
well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that, you know, where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, you know, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, you know, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, you know, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right? Who's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a
Why?
baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a
She
very.
looked like a man in a
I
dress.
mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything, and
Sure.
I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked
and
like Tony Green with a fag on.
they didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make
Get
a
some
place look
gif.
nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah. Whoa, Neddy. Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he
believe
get
it,
a
right?
horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
you've seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of...
Right?
Oh, that's great.
I'd
Did
been
Big
out.
Jake come and looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh.
Nicked
No,
away.
sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then. But keep it out the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well, I'll be...
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
That's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't
Exactly.
think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
They could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well.
Oh,
what?
so I was like in the car with my dad coming
Yeah.
into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And,
Yeah.
and you know, sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport, yeah.
And the horse was in the lounge,
Reading a paper.
just like walking around.
Oh, God! What?
And when I was doing, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This
Right.
is
And I went-
genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this,
Wait a
because
minute,
this story's
wait a
gonna
minute.
just
Wait a
unravel and unravel. It's
Yeah,
gonna go on
yeah.
for hours. Let's
It
play a
gets
track,
deeper
Carl.
and deeper. It's
Yeah,
like
come
an
on, Carl.
onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country,
I
I've never
just-
heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
Yeah, the
God.
classic from the first album. I'm waiting for the man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean? So we were talking. We were doing White Van Man, and we got onto.
We got on to genetically modified babies, but
And then
somehow
Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto. He was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers,
Well,
briefly.
hang on. I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was.
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So
didn't
the
Yeah.
mother was a right pig, apparently. I don't know whether that's
you don't need
relevant.
to go that far.
But you-
But
well,
what
go
I'm
on.
trying to do is like make a picture for you so you understand.
What
So
did she
what a
look
picture
like?
it
Who
is.
did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk,
Quirky, yeah.
right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it was going to be Paul. Did she have any tats? Did she have any
I've
tattoos?
never got that close to her.
Okay, all right.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her
No,
husband?
her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse.
Yeah, from I don't know where. There was I think there was some stables down the road or something.
And they kept the horse in the house with
They
them.
kept it in the house.
Did
But
they
didn't
get
have it
caught?
for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse
No,
in
what
there.
happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
But I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
the
a good
charity
money-making
here.
idea.
So-
You're a charity.
So, so I asked me mum for some, 'cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them,
Yeah.
got a tray,
Yeah.
had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut, you didn't just cut them and stick them in the
Yeah, they
soil?
wouldn't have survived.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a bit rough. So, as I went
The
up,
horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
so I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet,
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
and,
Yeah.
and the horse was walking around the living room.
Oh.
I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and
Sure.
a telly and that?
Telling you that!
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London the
Commodore
other day,
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, that dog is happier than most dogs,
Right.
because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open. It's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat though. They're always all right. So that's what I was saying. I think this horse was doing all right for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's what
That's
what
by
we were
the
talking
by.
about. Yeah. So anyway, this family, who's a bit what we were talking about. It was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that,
Yeah.
right?
It could happen, Rick.
So,
Come on, work with him.
so you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do, they inject it with something or whatever,
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
and, get a little baby, and there it is, it looks the same. Now, the thing is, you separate, you both go off and do your own things,
Yep.
right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby,
Yeah.
you treat it well, you give it good food and
I'm a
that,
good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese. Right? So then it changes its looks, it goes a bit fat, you know, it gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family,
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
right, this family had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby, and my mum went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars!
Right?
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover?
The weird
Did it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy...
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Whoa.
life.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
You're always right, Carl.
Finally, White Van Man, what do you make of the fact that Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins?
Is
that a concern for you?
Is that true?
Apparently so.
Why?
Dunno.
Like it's easy to stack.
This is what the guy in the Sun has said. That should be interesting for... that should be... His comment on Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins is that should be interesting for meatballs.
Oh, right.
Ricky's just collapsed on the floor. Let's just play a song, Carl. I don't think even you can top that.
See that in Heat this week?
What was it?
About the campaign to stop Carl going back to Manchester. You know, because he's a miserable sort of northerner who goes, London's crap and I want to go back up north.
Yeah.
And I only need 40 quid a week to live up there like king and all that sort of
Yes.
rubbish. Right, well, Boyd from Heat, well, we met him at the, that award ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
And, we were saying about, oh yeah, he really enjoys Carl. He's getting a lot of people
love
like
him, people
Carl.
love him.
And I was going, oh yeah, but he's thinking of leaving. He was going, oh, start a campaign. And he did, and he put it in there. So the campaign, so write in if you like Carl. If you think he's really annoying, then we'll stop talking to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the White Van Man column in The Sun, Carl?
seen it,
Are you familiar with this? This is where every day in The Sun they interview a guy who drives a white van, just, in order to get the kind of voice of the man on the street in the paper. And he has to answer, or just give his opinions, really, on events that have made the news each week. Just thought we could maybe throw some of these at you, Carl.
Go on.
Because we know to see what your views are.
Yeah.
So, just the first thing that comes into your mind, the sort of, your initial reaction to each
It's
of
just
these,
top all things, but you don't need to know about them, it's just your philosophy on it,
yeah,
so...
just your views.
You know, yeah.
I have had a few days off this week, remember, so I don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you stayed in London, though, didn't you?
Yeah,
You didn't bury yourself, did you?
I normally see the news, but I didn't this week.
Okay. So, what was your view on Will Young beating Gareth Gates in the final of Pop Idol?
Don't like him. Do you know what I was thinking about when I was watching it all the way through?
Yeah.
How he looks like he's got a wire coat hanger in his gob. That sort of...
Right.
Get his radio, Carl.
Radio.
It's a great
The
face.
funny face you're pulling doesn't
Yeah,
translate.
and, a radio.
And that's a problem for you, is it?
And just the way he's from a really rich family. I opened up the paper on the Monday or something, and it had like, oh, he went to a posh school and he's got loads of money already.
Yeah.
It's just a bit...
Okay. Right, now, what's the second
All right.
question?
There have been huge rises in street crime, especially muggings and carjackings. What's your view there?
More youth clubs are needed, aren't there?
You think more youth clubs?
I like that.
No? Okay.
No, I like that because it's so 1950s.
Yeah,
it's sort of like you want a bobby on the beat that'll clip
Yeah.
you around the ear.
So once they've come
Is
out of
it-
national service...
Yeah! No, I love that. And if you find someone smoking a wood bomb, you make them smoke 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is great. That is great.
Did you used to go to youth clubs?
Yeah.
And they kept you out of trouble?
You used to get into a fight afterwards when
Sure.
you came out.
But for the sort of hour and a half you were
You
there?
had a bit of pool and some boxing and
Yeah.
a bit of pop.
Yeah.
So more youth clubs, that's good.
I love him. I love him. If you're at home, just make notes because this is brilliant stuff. Honestly, you won't hear more honest, from the heart
Exactly,
stuff
opinions.
than this. This is great. Go on.
This is not pre-planned, these are your direct responses now. as you hear these.
I promise you, Carl did not know what we were going to do. He never knows what we're going to do, and he always answers honestly. That is the beauty of Carl.
What is
it's
your
not
view-
an act.
Go on.
What is your view, Carl, on New York's former mayor becoming Sir Rudy Giuliani? Sir Rudy Giuliani.
Is he happy with it?
He appears to be pleased with it.
Let it go ahead.
Fair enough. Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, he's genius.
Okay.
Is he happy with it? He's like your nan.
Yeah, yeah.
Is-
What do you make of Michael Greco's character Beppe being axed from EastEnders? Problem for you?
The whole soap thing. What's it's back in Coronation Street, isn't she? What's her name?
Who?
Bet Lynn's. She
yeah.
thought she'd go off and be a bigger star.
Yeah.
All went wrong, and now she's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always happens, doesn't it?
Peppy will be back.
Yeah.
No one really cares.
Sure, sure.
What
And the
was,
final
what was the
one.
van reply? What was the guy?
The White Van Man says, obviously they feel the character has run his course, but I think he's a pretty good actor and I can't understand why. So, I mean, obviously there's a White Van Man there who's also got an opinion on script
The
development.
through line, yeah.
Like the narrative
The-
through line of soap opera.
The 12-week narrative, the arc really shows
It's
itself
just
up.
the two last ones I want your opinion on here. What do you make of a cat that's been cloned in a secret 2.5 million research project?
To find out what?
If
What,
they
to
can
clone
clone
it?
cats, yeah.
Have they had to hurt it?
Sorry?
Have they had to sort of hurt it to do that?
Have they had to hurt it?
Yeah, or is it just scraping its tongue for some stuff?
I
No.
think the cat's fine. The point is that they're cloning another creature which is potentially very dangerous. Have you seen that film where they bring Hitler back?
That cat, what if that cat turned out to be a world dictator?
Exactly. What do you reckon of
No.
cloning generally, Carl? You concerned about it?
I
When
don't-
they're cloning for organs,
I
you know,
don't
they grow them for the, you know.
Do you know what cloning means?
Yeah, it's when you like make something else that's the same, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to do any harm.
Okay. And
Great.
and finally,
Put you on the World Council.
yeah, yeah. Finally, what do you make of some city workers who were caught bonking in the glass lifts of the Lloyd's building?
What do I make of it?
Yeah. Is that a problem for you? Do you think that's unprofessional?
Was it the lunch break or?
I think it was lunch break.
It was their own.
All right.
It's their own time, I think, fair enough. It only takes 45 seconds to go from the bottom to the top. Is that a problem? They moved quickly. They acted, you know, on instinct. You think fair enough? If that's their natural instincts and they're both consenting, you think fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much, Carl.
There's little Carl over there. Steve, it's time for...
White Van Carl. We should definitely get some jingles. I think the show sort of lacks jingles, I think.
Yeah.
Noises.
Yeah.
Funny sound effects.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What's Mr. Nosy Neighbour interested in? Hello? What's going on here? Oh, we should definitely get some pre-recorded comedy noises, Carl.
Yeah.
for next
Yeah, well,
week.
that's my job, but unfortunately I'm busy reading about Hitler.
For those that don't know and aren't familiar with this feature, basically The Sun runs a White Van Man column where it asks just people who, you know, every men and women, their views on news stories from the week, and we decided we'd just ask Carl his opinion on some of the same issues. This week...
Not like us to rip off another idea and just use it for our own...
No.
No, but this time,
The White Van Man in the Sun this week is Herbie Crossman from Harrow in Middlesex.
Herbie.
And he's asked his opinion, Carl, and what's yours, on pop idol Will Young admitting he is gay. Come on, Carl.
I don't understand what the big deal is, to be honest.
Okay.
No.
Talking to different people about it, and they've said, oh, it could affect the sales, you know, girls won't like him anymore, which I think is rubbish.
Yeah, because it finished George Michael's career, didn't it?
Well, yeah, and I was thinking when I was growing up, right,
And Freddie Mercury.
I was into Kim Wilde, right?
Sure.
Now,
And her kids
You're not going
in
to tell me
America.
she's gay, are you?
no, but if they said, oh, she's you know, a leather,
Yeah.
right, I wouldn't say, right, that's it, I'm taking kids in America back to the shop, I'm disgusted.
Sure.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to, like, meet her and marry her and that, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
Will Young, he's a good voice, he's gay, you know, a lot of gay people in the world.
Georgie boy was gay, I guess.
There you go.
Nothing more and nothing less. The kindest guy I ever knew.
So
Do
no,
you Bowie?
no big deal.
That's one of your favourite songs, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Killing of Georgie Parts 1 and 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you make of the police protesting to Parliament over reforms?
That's not the band. Before you say.
Right, what's all that about?
Okay, well, the police have had various kind of gripes and grumbles which they've taken to Parliament, try and get them sorted.
Like what?
Well, it could take ages, basically.
They don't like the pointy helmets anymore.
Yeah.
They want flat caps.
They feel that their powers are restricted, they get a lot of bad press, they're not being paid well, they're under-resourced.
They actually demonstrated, didn't they, outside?
I think they may have done, yeah.
Well, at least they're doing something about it instead of just sitting there moaning. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're going to the top, trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
I admire that.
Yep.
What do you make of the police generally? Are they doing a good job?
They've woke me up a couple of times at about 4 in the morning when I was a kid.
Right, was that because they were looking
why-
for your brother in his tank?
Yeah! Did a Sherman tank just come through here?
Yeah.
No, my mates nicked cars and gave my name and all that.
Right. Were they friends of yours? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you make of fears that dumped Britney Spears, she's been dumped by her boyfriend, there's worries that she may be cracking up, Carl? concerned?
What are the signs?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, I'm just reading from this section, but I would assume that she's obviously showed signs of depression, maybe?
She'll be alright. I remember, like, you know, Zoe Harris, when she sort of got bored of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Get over it, I don't even think about her now.
What, and how long did it take you to get over Zoe?
Zoe Harris!
How long did it take
To be honest, right, it was like one of my first girlfriends, and she was a pain. I remember I went out with her because she wouldn't stop hassling me, right?
Yeah.
I remember
I love that. Oh, go on
I
then.
never talked to her, and then the bit that really got me, I thought I half liked her, and then I remember, right, we're at a school party, sort of infant school,
Infant school?
right?
Are you sure it wasn't junior school?
Well, it's on the cusp,
Yeah.
right, when you're about to leave infants and go to the next one.
Yeah.
And, she was crying because
You were saying, I don't think we should move in together.
He was crying.
She was crying.
Oh, was she?
Had you
She
stolen
must
her
have
milk?
been- She must have been nearly 6. Why didn't she grow up?
No, she was crying because somebody had stood on a dress and put a bit of an hole in it. And I said, oh, for God's sake.
I can't stand it. Oh,
So you,
I'm just thinking.
so you gave her a slap.
I just Think of him, he's like 6, like with clogs and a flat cap, going slightly bald, going, for Christ's sake, woman, come on.
Oh, light my pipe.
Oh. That finished it, because all the mates were saying, come on, Carl, she's upset, and I was like, oh, whatever. So again.
Hold on, though, wait a minute, what do you mean all the mates were saying, look, come on, Carl? They were 6, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were saying, come on, she's crying, help her out.
And,
like,
and you did nothing?
I don't know.
She got injured. Got a hole in her skirt.
Yeah, but she was upset and you were her boyfriend.
Well...
So what did you do? Tell me the story. Where were you?
Didn't work out.
You were at some kind of school do. There was a hole in her dress.
It didn't work out, he said.
Do you treat your current girlfriend in the same way? This callous disregard for someone's feelings?
His current girlfriend does not tread on her dress. Does she? Oh, she didn't.
So, as far as you're concerned, what was her name? Sarah?
Zoe.
Zoe Harris. She just felt like, well, you know, if she's gonna make a whinge about, you know, a silly little hole, screw her.
Yeah.
You're all heart, Carl.
What would you have done?
I'd have gone over there and give her a lovely kiss.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
We were playing Dead Arm. In the corner.
Ask him another question.
Okay, very final thought then. What do you say to the fact that a judge has decided that we, the general public, have a right to know about stars' flings? Basically, this is an excuse. This is basically saying, should papers be allowed to print tittle-tattle about celebrities?
Oh, this is...
providing it's proven true.
Oh, this is something about, isn't it, of Division 1 football or something? It's definitely out of Premiership football, it's unfair. And it is true, but he's trying to keep privacy, and the judge said, well, it's not for us to censor the press over things that are true. It's up to the general public to either boycott or not, you know, that publication.
What do you think, Carl? What about all this, you know, exposing, going through the, you know, the bins of celebrities?
It's not right, is it? But
No.
people are interested in it and buy the papers to read it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like I said to you the other week, everyone has a go at Beckham for not being that bright. But at the end of the day, he's a good footballer. It doesn't really matter what goes on off the pitch, does it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but what if you were a celebrity and they sort of splashed over the front page the fact that you just, you know, didn't care less for Zoe Harris and her torn dress?
Zoe Harris is still upset.
Yeah, they dug her out, you know. The night Karl Pilkington reduced me to tears.
Nah, I haven't done anything that bad.
Sure.
I wouldn't be worried.
Did you win the dead arm contest?
No. I was thinking about that the other day. Do you think there's a chance I could get blood clots in later life?
Did you play that a lot?
Yeah, a hell of a lot.
Do you ever do it, but like kind of headbutting?
No.
Okay, because that would have explained something.
Dead arms.
Sure.
Any more?
No, that's it, Carl.
It was with people's blessing, was it? You had to give them a go?
Yeah.
And you played it with girls?
No.
Alright.
Oh, with my mates.
Right.
So you were playing dead arms while she was off dancing and getting her hole ruined?
Yeah.
You romantic, you.
That's great. And you haven't changed a bit, have you? You still do that to this day, don't you? At functions and events.
Okay, we just do White Van Carl then. This is your opinions. You can't be wrong on this, can you?
There's no right or wrong answer here. Okay.
Right.
But so this is where we ask Carl his views on the big news stories of the week. Basically, we've stolen an idea from the Sun newspaper, and
So this isn't cruel, this programme, is it?
I don't think so.
Picking on me.
It's not, is it?
It's weird because a few people have said, "Oh, you're picking on me." It depends how you look at things, doesn't
Sure.
it?
Yeah. But you do you like it?
I mean, we could look at it like it's a laugh, so it's not a problem for us.
You know we like you. You know you're our favourite.
Yeah.
I'm going to say thing in the world, but I don't mean that. You know, in a derogatory way.
No, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So your views, please, on the fact that attitudes are changing to the possible marriage of Charles and Camilla.
Oh, what do you think of that?
The roars at the moment, because of recent tragedies, are apparently high in the polls, and people are coming around to the idea of Charles and Camilla getting hitched. What's your thought?
Whatever, really. I mean, if they're happy with it. The thing that comes out of it most is it just goes to show, right, that there is someone for everyone. Just because, I mean, no disrespect to Camilla, I'm not a good-looking person either, but she isn't a stunner, and yet she's gone and picked up a royal. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good for things like that to happen, because it cheers you up. Do you know what I mean? Gives you a bit of hope.
Thanks, Carl.
So yeah, it's good. You know, if they're happy. If anyone's happy, it's a good story, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he's had a bit of bad luck, and now he's got someone else in his life, so...
While he's doing this, I'm just doing a list of questions to ask him what he thinks of things in the world. Is that alright?
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Okay, what do you make of... Well, now listen, this may be a non-story, or it may be the biggest story that's about to break. Ulrika Johnson and Sven Goran Eriksson's affair. Are you familiar with this? It's over the papers today. Apparently, Ulrika and Sven are going out, although there appears to be no evidence for this.
Yeah, I don't even give it time of day.
Do you not?
Quite right, well done.
Doesn't affect me whatsoever, as long as he does his job well.
Yep.
And what's she doing at the moment?
Presenting Dog Eat Dog, I think.
Like, you know.
As long as she does her job well.
As long as they both do their jobs well.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's going on with a lot of people out in the world, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just because he's an England boss, as long as, you know, we win the games and that, he's doing his job. If she's, you know, gets a dog winning a prize or whatever.
No, okay, it's not worth it, carry on.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
It's a dog winning a prize.
I haven't seen Dog Eat Dog. What's it
Okay,
about?
it's alright, it's,
Right,
no, go on.
so that's it, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, what about this then? Are you disappointed by the nation that a third of us are apparently unaware of St. George's Day?
23rd.
Is St. George's Day the one with the snakes that we've talked about?
No, that's...
Are you one of that third, do you think?
St. George is the patron saint of England who, killed the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many of these days, isn't there? That's the problem. If you make it a bit more special, like Christmas, so you buy presents and that for each other, then people will remember it. But there's so many of these days, with Easter and Pancake Tuesday and all that. So, it's not surprising. I think as time goes on, we'll find that a lot of these days will just disappear, because, you know, people are busy.
There'll be new ones, won't there?
I don't know, people
There'll
are
be
that
like
busy.
Gareth Gates Day in 50 years' time.
It's just weird. I mean, I remember being a kid, right? Going out on a Sunday and shops would be shut because it was like, you know, the day of rest and all that. People don't care now. It's like, well, we can make some more money, we'll open the shops.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Is that
all
a good or a
about-
bad thing, Carl?
It's good, because I remember I used to have to get up early to go and get some bread if we didn't have any in. Because the shop would only be open for a couple of hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'd be able to...
Yeah, I
rely
remember
in.
that. I remember that. Shops, and you couldn't get aspirin and stuff,
Exactly.
certain things,
Yeah, nightmare on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
So-
that's right, yeah. And pubs didn't open till 12.
Do you remember space operas?
Yeah. Yeah, shut up. Can I ask you something?
Go on.
Okay, I've got a little list of things. What do you think of, like, those pug dogs that are bred and they can hardly breathe?
Evil.
Yeah. What do you think of, gays?
They're alright. Do you know what I mean? Just like straight people, you get bad ones, you get good ones.
Exactly.
Right?
We've learned a lesson today, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Let's play a record.
Yeah? What do you fancy? A bit of Radiohead?
Yeah.
You don't mind, though, if people think we're gay, for instance, when we go to the BAFTAs
No,
tomorrow?
that's terrible. I don't want that happening.
Why?
Hey?
Why?
Because I'm not. That'd be a lie. I don't like lying. If I was, I'd say I was gay,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
We'll say you were, just pretend.
We won't get in otherwise.
No.
Just a little kiss and a cuddle.
Say I'm a bit gay.
No. I'm not gay.
Should we do it now?
Well, I think we should have a white van man session.
Oh, white van
Because I think
man
people tune in for the white van man
Yeah,
session.
people who haven't tuned in, they don't know.
If people aren't familiar with this, The Sun runs a column every day which is asking some punter from the street their views on the week's big events, and we just thought, why not hijack that idea, but apply it to Karl Pilkington. Carl,
I've seen much news again this week.
you've not seen much news. Don't worry, I'm sure you have an opinion on
Just
it.
have
anyway.
you, just give us it from your heart.
Sort of Gladiator.
Okay, so, well, on the subject of Gladiator, what do you make of Russell Crowe's appalling behaviour at the BAFTAs?
This is, I heard a bit about this. This is, when he got some director or something, because...
Director or producer and threatened them because they cut his bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they cut a poem that he'd done during the
See-
acceptance speech.
I watched it on Sunday night. I didn't realise it wasn't live, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, I quite liked the way it was to the point and didn't mess about. He went up, he said thanks.
So you're saying that he shouldn't have beaten up the director? Is that what you're basically saying?
It's a bit over the top.
You thought
I
so?
mean, if you didn't have time, if you really, I mean, what's the poem got to do with the film anyway? He was an awards.
So do you think it's ever justified to beat up a TV director if you're a major Hollywood star?
Depends what he's done, but I mean,
Right, what would he have to have done, Carl, for it to be fine for him to then beat him up?
the thing is, right, forget all the beating up. At the end of the day, it was a awards thing for a film. The poem had nothing to do with the film.
Yeah.
So go up, collect your award for that thing. And if you really, really wanted people to hear about this poem, he could have photocopied it and
Sure.
left it at the entrance and said, on your way out, this is a really nice poem, pick one up.
No, but the thing is, he knew it was televised, so he knew by saying that poem once, he was reaching 5 million people. That's a lot of photocopies. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah,
saying it
but
was justified.
It wasn't a poem award. If it was an award show for poems, you'd say you can't cut it out. It'd be like doing the top 40 and then going, number one's good, but we haven't got time for it. but it's a films thing.
Okay.
And he went up and he got the award for the film. Which film was it for?
I don't know, but when I wanted to give you results, I said, let's give Carl his results. Steve went, no, we should introduce people to Carl again, just remind people what Carl's like. And he's so right. I'm so glad we did this first.
Am I right, though? Or am I
Carry on,
wrong?
Steve.
Okay, the next topic. What about this big debate over whether Kylie Minogue's had a bum job?
I'd have to see it.
Next!
Okay. What do you make of Will Young's single? He's the Pop Idol winner. It's gonna net record-breaking sales, apparently. It's gonna go straight to #1. He's had millions of copies sold.
I heard last week that you had to, if you wanted to buy it from Woolworths, you had to go in and put £1 down to guarantee getting a copy.
Wow.
I think that's stupid.
But what do you make of it, though? Do you think,
What, as a song?
both as a song, and are you excited about Will Young and his future?
No, he'll do alright. I don't think we have to worry about him.
Okay.
He'll do alright. It's not my thing, but he seems like a nice bloke.
Okay, very good. What do you
final
make?
one?
Yeah, one final one then. What do you make of our scientists getting the go-ahead to clone embryos for research? We have discussed cloning before, and obviously there's the pros and cons of that. Christopher Reeve, former Superman star, he's behind this. Are you behind him?
Yeah. I mean, with everything, you have your good and your bad, don't you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. If you didn't have bad things in the world, then you wouldn't enjoy the good things. I think, you know, it's like if you didn't have robbers in the world, policemen wouldn't have a job. So it's the same thing. It's like, it's an illness. Yeah? What are they messing with?
It's probably a bit too detailed to go into there, really, but,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's good and bad. You can't have it all.
Yin and yang is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, Carl, I can't argue with that, mate.
Express 2 featuring David Byrne, Lazy, XFM 104.9, Quarter to 2, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve's got the sun.
Yes, I'm just
We're just going to be doing White Van Carl, where we ask Carl the questions the Sun asked some other bloke.
That's right.
Because we think Carl's got more to say than anyone on anything. Carl only tells the truth, by the way. Just remember that, listeners. Off you go.
Yes, well, today's White Van Man in the Sun is John Slade. He owns his own door maintenance company. His answers are very informative, I have to say. But, Carl, what do you make of the Channel 4 producer, aged 30, who duped a school into believing he was a teenager for a documentary? Are you familiar with this story?
No, go on.
Well, basically, a 30-year-old guy kind of fooled the school into thinking he was a pupil for a secret documentary. The school's outraged. Do you think that that's, for you, should anything go when it comes to making TV?
I think I've said to you before, there's loads of kids at my school. I remember being in the first year, and kids who, what year do schools go up to? I was in the first year, what is it?
11.
5?
Oh, sorry, first year of infants and juniors.
No, secondary school.
11.
Right, year 11. Kids have beards and
no,
stuff.
not year 11. They're 11 when they first go to secondary school.
Right, well I'm 11, the kids at the older end.
Well, there's a
Well, it
fifth
depends.
form, and then
You
there's
can
a
leave
sixth
when
form.
you can leave when you're 16, I think, can't you now?
Right, well kids who were 16
Yeah.
looked old. They did have beards. I remember going there and thinking some of them were teachers.
I think he's answered that. Next one, what's the next one?
Tattoos and everything. I think they had kids in the earlier years even.
What do you make of the fact that Mariah Carey's £38 million payoff has cost EMI staff their jobs, and we're talking 1,800 EMI staff who have lost their jobs?
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean,
is that silly money, Mariah Carey, on 38 million?
she doesn't need that much.
She doesn't need that much. She has to dress nice, though.
It's not her fault. I'd say it's bad business.
Okay.
Because EMI, did you say?
Yes.
Right. They've got rid of them staff.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's left. Who's going to do the work?
Do you think Mariah should come back and do some temping?
Well, they should have got a loan and paid her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Vicious circle, that.
Right.
Have you haven't done a business degree or anything, have you?
Commerce.
You did commerce. Where did you do that? What did you do with that?
At school, I'd learned how to fill out a cheque, pay a bill, and I think I had a trip round Kellogg's.
Did you get an O level or a GCSE?
We know he didn't.
You know, I did.
But was there a commerce exam, or was it just a division of
Can't
maths?
remember.
What did he fill out a
Was it a
check?
subset of
It was
maths?
an option. It was like, if you want to do it, you can.
What was it? Fill out a check.
Fill
Pay
out
a bill.
check,
Pay a bill.
Have a visit round
And round
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, and I saw my sister's boyfriend there at the time. He sorted me out with some variety packs.
Really? What was in them?
You know, Rice Krispies and
Good stuff.
Cocoa Pops?
Space Dust or whatever it is.
Space Nuts.
So, sorry, that wasn't Ken Dodd, no. That was someone else, that was an aunt.
Yeah, that wasn't Special K. Oh
What
dear.
about this then? Home Secretary David Blunkett admits that muggers rule some streets.
Weird this, because when I was out with you,
I don't believe it's going to be weird, whatever you say,
no,
Carl. Go on.
when we were in that pub that night and we got talking about muggers and that, the tip is, what I tend to do, because I nearly got mugged once. Act
You
mental.
what? You nearly got mugged once.
I nearly got mugged.
Yeah.
But I tried this technique of acting a bit mental.
Right, and how did you act mental?
Well, this guy wanted me trainers. And I was in Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester, and it was quite late one night. And he come up, he said, I want them trainers. I said, you want them? I said, I worked hard for these. He said, how dare you come to me asking, and I got a bit livid. And he looked at me like, oh my god, he's got a right one here. And he left me.
Were you acting mental, or were you just mental?
No, I put it on a bit.
Were you not petrified then?
Well, you don't think about it, do you, when you're sort of in the eyes of danger?
Well, not you, clearly you're a brave man. So what did you say?
I just went a bit mad. I just kind of, because he said he wanted the trainers and they were dear ones at the time, and I just said, no, you're not having these. I said, I've crafted you. I said, I wanted these trainers.
Yeah.
And went on to tell him how I work at printers and I don't enjoy it, and I put in all these hours and that, and I have to cycle home for about 5 miles, and
Did he give you his trainers?
Yeah.
Did he have a knife or
I just
anything?
left. No, it didn't get that violent.
Well, that's very brave of you, Carl.
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
good advice, though. Just act mental.
See, Watts actually tried it the other night.
Oh, Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Well, she says, I've worked hard for these diamonds. Yeah. It's not easy being the daughter of Judy Garland. You don't know what it's like.
Finally, apparently, there was a crook that got a job, a security job at Heathrow. Right, he was a crook and he got a job at Heathrow.
Crook.
As robbers steal another £2 million. Apparently security down there is lax.
Yeah.
Is that a concern for you?
Is this another
Yeah.
2 million?
Yeah.
Why is all this money at the airport?
It's those sandwich shops. You know how they're really expensive, the sandwiches in, like, when you're in a plane? They're like £2.50 for tuna, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
That's basically the reason.
What do you mean, why is all this money at airports?
What is it doing there? Why?
Have a go, have a go. No, have a go answering this yourself. Why is anything at an airport?
It's going somewhere.
Or coming in from somewhere?
Yeah, but money you can sort out through the bank, like phone banks and that.
Have you done commerce? You know a lot about paying bills and writing out checks. Yeah.
Tell us about Kellogg's.
What was it like? What was in the factory? Was it just like squashing bits of corn and...
Pretty boring, really. Just loads of conveyor belts,
Yeah.
boxes of cornflakes everywhere. Just what you imagine.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
is
know
it
what
more,
we're meant to
this is
learn
where
from
you
it.
might be working? This is where you're likely to work if you
Possibly.
leave
There was
school.
2 trips. There was that and the trip to Manchester Evening News.
Okay.
And I left that early because I had a job in Cordon Bleu.
Kellogg's.
Cordon Bleu, what's that?
It's like a supermarket.
Yeah?
And I had to leave the trip early, and the teacher went mad saying they thought I'd got lost on the, in the building and stuff.
What, you
It
didn't
caused
tell
a right
anyone?
uproar. No, because it was like day 2 of working in this supermarket, and I couldn't be late. I thought by the time I explain where I've got to go and everything, I'll be even later.
Sure.
So I just left, and apparently they were searching the building and everything for me.
How old
I'd
were
been
you?
stuck in a printer. Don't know.
Fucking a printer! I
don't know.
What was the printer's name?
You worked at a supermarket called Cordon Bleu.
Cordon Bleu!
brilliant.
That's great, isn't it?
It's rubbish.
Oh.
Got sacked.
You've had
What'd you get sacked for?
Messing about in a back in the car park round the back.
Yeah.
Right, there was a grid, and all the concrete had gone funny. So when it rains, you got like a big lake,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I got in. Do you know those big metal trolleys you get to like put all the food in? Whilst
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got in one of them, and pushed myself out into this lake.
Of cement.
No,
Of
it
water.
was full
Oh, it
of
was
water
water,
'cause it'd been
right, right,
raining.
right.
And I got stuck in the middle, right? And the boss was like, "Where's Carl? He's meant to be doing, facing up the beans." And I was like,
And you were stranded in a lake.
So someone said, "Oh, I saw him messing about out the back." He came out and saw me stuck in the middle of this. lake in in a trolley. And he said, "Get back in." I said,
Would you say, no, I'm filming sharks?
I said, "It's too deep. I can't get out. You'll have to pass me something." And he said, "I'm not passing you nothing." He said, "You can get out of there and walk through it." I said, "I'm not. I've got my trainers on, probably the same ones."
Yeah, you've risked
actually.
your life for them.
Yeah. I said, "I'm not getting these wet." I said, he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to wait for the water to go down the grid." He said, "The grid's blocked. Now get out or you're sacked." I said, "Well, I'm not getting out." He said, "Right, you're sacked."
So you were sacked? How long did you have to wait for the water to go down the grid?
In the end, I did get bored, and I sort of did a bit of a leap and a jump and got 1 foot wet.
How long were you waiting?
About half an hour.
Just think of it. Just think. I mean, how did he get himself into that situation? That's fantastic. Should we play a record?
Oh, definitely. That's a
Your choice.
joy. Oh, you're an absolute pleasure. More White Van Man next time on the show.
Now it's time for White Van Man.
White Van Man. Yes, for
Explain
those
what it is.
that don't buy the Sun, they think it's beneath them. White Van Man is a column they have, I think, every day actually, and they just get sort of some, Joe Public to kind of comment on the week's news. Just seemed to me, that it might be interesting to get Carl's views on some of the big events.
Not because we think that Carl hasn't got a valid sort of viewpoint.
No.
Because Carl sees the world differently to some people. That's all, and that's what's interesting. Like an artist does, or
Exactly. Yeah, he's very bohemian in his outlook.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're up to scratch on this week's news?
I don't like this bit.
don't you?
Don't just relax.
Why not?
It's pressure.
No, because you
It's
just
not,
have
but
to give
it's
us your first opinion.
For your honest answer. That's all we've ever asked of you, Carl, and it's all you've ever given us. Your honest, your first from the heart view. Yeah.
All
Don't
right.
worry, just
No,
relax.
just chill out.
Are you worried that people are listening and thinking you're an idiot?
If my girlfriend's listening now, go and have a wash or something.
Go and have a wash.
Not very nice, is it? It's the opposite of Napoleon and Josephine. Yeah, go on. If you're going to visit me again, Josephine, for Christ's sake, what?
Well, I'll ease you in with something fairly easy, a music-based question. Kylie Minogue versus Dido as Queen of the Brits. What's your view there?
Go and have a wash.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
What does it really matter?
With the Brits, I was watching it the other night, and I think Kylie will be a good-looking old woman.
Okay.
Ah!
Do you ever do
Oh,
that sort of stuff?
I want to, Steve. I want to celebrate with you. Every time he opens his mouth, I want us to open a bottle of champagne.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like we did that.
Yes.
No, do you
Go
ever do that though? Look at people, and another person who springs to mind, Jenny Powell. I don't think she's that good-looking now.
Who's Jenny Powell? Is she that girl that used to be the assistant on Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah.
Leslie.
Yeah, I think she's a bit over the top for a young woman, but when she gets older, I think she'll look
Be a bit of a stunner.
Mm.
Okay. So for you, Kylie, whereas you don't feel that about Dido, is that right?
She's all right. She's normal. I prefer Kylie's sister to Kylie.
Okay.
That's, I can imagine her being hard work to live with and
Who, Kylie?
not
Right.
being washing up and that.
Right, sure.
Being a bit fussy.
Okay. And what do you make of taxes rising in the next budget to pay for NHS improvements?
Well, my dad went to hospital to have an operation once.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's worth paying it because I've got some.
Because people might have to go to hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a change when it's someone in your family, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you sort of realise.
Yeah, a change is as good as a rest.
And the weird thing is, if it weren't for my dad, I wouldn't be here doing this show because when he was in hospital.
Well, no, I'll stop you there.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's all you need to know.
You wouldn't be here true, but no. But
No, because this was after I was born. So I would be here.
but for his more direct involvement was what?
Yeah, because when my mum was seeing my dad in the hospital, I got a bit bored, went for a wander, found the hospital radio station,
Yeah.
and got a gig.
Really?
So in a real sense, if it wasn't for Carl's dad, Carl wouldn't be here.
And did your dad, like, while he was listening to you, did he, like, sort of tap the nurse and go, "Can you get that twat off the air?"
Who's put him in that?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. What do you make of the real-life Mowgli who's surviving in a Transylvanian countryside? Apparently, I don't know much about this story.
I don't know.
You know Mowgli. He's the guy
He's
from
the
the
one-
Jungle Book.
Yeah.
The little kid that grew up with bears and animals and stuff. Apparently, there's a real-life one in Transylvania.
What were the things in Gremlins?
What were the what? Like in Gremlins, they were.
Wait. Okay, this is an example. This is what your girlfriend said. Think. What were the things in Gremlins called?
I can't remember.
Just, I mean,
It's
really.
something like that, isn't it?
No, wait. Just really think now, Carl. Just with everything you've ever, with all the brain power you've ever used, think what the things in Gremlins were called.
It's not there.
There's a clue here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They're not.
What?
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Play a record, Carl.
Right. White Van Carl.
White Van Carl. Yeah, this is where we steal the White Van Man column from the Sun and basically fire those questions at Carl, getting his opinions on the week's news. Okay, Carl. Let me see. Okay, what do you make of this? The average woman apparently takes 27 minutes to get ready to go out. Did you know that?
Is it? Are they saying that's a good thing or?
No, they're saying that the bare minimum. It
No,
takes, no, this is
average,
what they said.
surely.
No. But I remember reading. I'm sure they said that it takes them 27 minutes to get ready to go out at the very least.
I mean, it's not that bad if it's for a night out. It's that. I mean, 30 minutes is all right.
If it's going to get to 20 Woodbines.
But yeah, or you know, if the house is on fire and it's like quick,
Yeah.
get ready and get out.
I don't think it's in a fire, no. I think, yeah, go on.
I think that's
27 minutes,
easy.
alright. I'd take about 27
I
minutes.
can take up to that.
But do they include the getting up, having a bath? All
Doesn't
that?
give me any more details.
No?
27
Well,
minutes.
that's difficult to go by. Difficult to go on that one, isn't it?
How long does Suzanne take to go out of the house?
Depends, like I say, if we're just nipping out shopping,
The old flip-flops and trackies on.
yeah. But if you're going out for the night, it takes a bit longer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got wire in the trackies.
yeah.
Go on.
Okay, no, really don't know what the ins and outs of this story are. Is Sven Goran Eriksson sticking with Nancy rather than Ulrika?
Well, it's his wife and not his girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know if the story's true. No one seems to have offered any evidence for it.
Anyway,
Everyone remained silent.
It's rubbish.
And, okay, what to make of this? David Beckham apparently was driving despite having an injured foot and just further threatening his World Cup chances. Now, obviously you're a big football fan.
Well, I'm not that big. I like the odd game.
Sure.
Would that hurt him? Would that hurt his foot?
It can be good.
Is it in a plaster? It's not in a big cast,
Sure,
is
it's
it?
better to drive than it is to walk on it.
Good point.
Fair enough, yeah.
Go on.
Can't argue with
Can't
that.
get the bus, can he?
Okay, and what do you make of this fascist leader who's having a lot of success in the French presidential elections?
What's he doing?
Have you not come across this story?
No.
Right, this is one of the big political
So
stories.
he's got far right that got nearly 20%.
He's a far-right fascist leader and he's having considerable success in the French elections.
I don't think we should be asking Carl questions like this.
Not
a
something
lot-
you've got an opinion on?
I'm getting scared.
There's all sorts of bad stuff going on in the world that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But we know about this.
Yeah, but you're better off not knowing because there's nothing I can do about it.
You're absolutely right, Carl. I can't argue with that.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
man
that's
alive.
fantastic. That is brilliant.
What do you make of Olympic ski hero Alan Baxter testing positive for drugs?
What did he do?
Well, he won a gold medal in the Olympics, and
For what?
he was a skier,
Right.
and he won gold medal, and they've just tested him positive for some kind of illegal drug.
But what? I mean, if he did, why take drugs to ski?
Why?
Because all you do is balance.
But imagine, it'd be amazing if you were stoned, like going down a hill.
Yeah, it's not like you have
But
to...
it's not going to help you. Is
No,
it?
it's
not
just
like-
gravity that's doing all the work, isn't it, with skiing?
Yeah, but it's often to do with your athleticism, isn't it? It's
No,
to
but it'd be
help you-
like saying, and we've just found out the people on the toboggan were on crack. It's not going to help them. You, you sit there and you go with the flow.
Yeah,
And you try, and you hold
could I
on.
say, the drugs he was
Apparently
taking...
that's his defence,
Probably, he probably wasn't jacking up H or, you know, dropping a few E's or getting stoned. He was probably taking more sort of,
Steroids.
performance-enhancing drugs, as opposed to him just, like, scoring some shit around the corner from someone,
but that
getting
doesn't-
off his tits and jumping in a toboggan. Doesn't mean that, does it?
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't off his nut.
Yeah. You tested you pissed out your head.
But why doesn't he just say, don't be stupid, why would I do that? It's just not going to help me out.
But it is, isn't it? Because performance-enhancing
I don't
drugs
know,
do.
wait a minute, Steve, wait a minute, Carl. Right, look at it this way. Okay, look at me, yeah? Have I got his attention?
Yeah, the lights glinting off your ring there.
Yeah,
You're attracted to it.
Okay, right, no, keep concentrating. Right. Some athletes, you're aware they take drugs, that's to build up
Swimmers
muscle.
and stuff.
Yeah, swimmers. For
Runners.
example, runners, yeah. Not only do they help build muscle, right, but they can actually, you know, give them a boost performance-wise,
Yeah.
sort of like steroids and all this sort of stuff. Right? So that's the sort of thing we're talking about, okay?
Right, so again,
He wasn't on a
why
bong
would that help
before...
you?
What?
Why would that help you when you... All you've got to do is balance on skis.
Not when you're at the Olympic level.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with, you know, your body and
No,
your
it's
legs.
practice, isn't it? It's like, if you've skied for years, then you've got good balance after a bit.
Oh, do you know what, Carl? Do you know what? You've made a mockery of drug taking. Well done. Right, next one, Steve.
I hate this bit. I hate this.
I don't know if you saw it. What did you make of Posh Spice's Warts and All documentary?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
What did you make of it?
I mean, people are slagging them off, aren't they? Saying, you know, she's daft and that, but
Damn it, you!
she's. I think they're all right, honestly.
Yeah,
you
I think
know,
they're all right.
she's all right. I mean, I think David's really a decent bloke.
Sure.
Um,
Would you agree that he's quite a simple man?
yeah, but he's a footballer. He doesn't need to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all right, I only got an E in history,
Sure.
but knowing about the Tudors doesn't help me press these buttons and put the next CD on.
No, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, good luck to him, and he's done well out of it, and it's just jealousy.
Yeah.
I remember, though, when I was back in Manchester, was in Piccadilly train station, and he was there, right? Not as big a star as he is now,
Yeah.
back then, but he was stood there, and I was so close to going over to him and saying, "Did you go to my school?" Because I recognised his face, but I didn't know who he was. Do you know when you sort of go, "Sure, I went to school, it's not the one with the big head,"
Yeah.
but I do recognise him. Then my girlfriend got off the train, and I said, "I'm sure I know him." She said, "Yeah, it's David Beckham." And I was
Oh,
so
thank
close
God
to
for your
going over.
girlfriend. Does she get an awful lot of scrapes, does she?
She does, yeah.
Okay, what about the fact that, the pension crisis
Sure.
is gonna force Britons to work into their 70s, Carl? You might have to carry on working into your 70s before you can claim a pension.
I think it's a good thing. Because you see a lot of old people who look bored.
Okay.
And I honestly think if you keep your brain busy,
Yeah.
you'll live longer.
Yeah.
It's only when you actually shut down, right, that's when your body sort of dies because it doesn't feel it has a purpose. It's like if you've got flu, keep going to work. If you have a day off, you just feel worse. You'll mope about at home. Doesn't do you any good.
What about,
whatsoever.
where do you draw the line there, though? What if you, say, lose a finger? Pop into work?
Depends. If you can't concentrate because it's painful,
But what if you're a typist?
Or
you're not going to
pianist?
type as many words, but you'll do more at work than you would having a day off at home.
Sure. Okay. Tony Blair turning trendy with his Paul Smith designed naked lady shirt. I don't know if you've seen this. It's the one with the pictures of naked ladies on the cuffs.
And, you know, I mean...
Okay. And finally,
how's that, you see, this is what annoys me about this feature. It's just, what's that, so what?
yeah, but it's the Prime Minister of this country wearing a trendy shirt with naked ladies on the cuffs.
Alright.
Okay. And finally, what do you make of the fact that Top of the Pops have banned Will Young singing both tracks on the #1 slot, and consequently he wasn't on there at all? They had to show the video. The first time anyone's ever made this demand. He wants to sing both the A and B side.
Well, he can't.
It's double A, yeah.
Double A side.
That's what they wanted to.
That isn't how it works, is it?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And the thing is, which one... I mean, at the end of the day, loads of people have bought it, haven't they? Isn't it
Yes,
like one of the
yeah.
best... So it doesn't really matter what it does, because people have got it, they can listen to what song they want at home. Doesn't matter about what Top of the Pops do.
Yes.
And it's just annoyed me now. It's...
Who's annoyed you?
Just what goes on in the world. I'll tell you, you're better off not knowing. It's better being in my little world. If that's what people are talking about on the streets and asking the white van man, do you know what I mean?
I think you're right, Carl. I think you're right.
Jeez.
Shall I play a lovely song for you? Because you're getting all stressed now, aren't you?
I've not had a good day.
No, I know. We tell you about it later. It's not a good day. Well, I'm going to play a Neil Young track here of Harvest. It's Alabama. It's beautiful, and this is for Carl.
Can I just make a request? So I'd quite like, if we've got time, to bring back, just for 1 week only, White Van Carl.
Sure.
Because there's some quite interesting topics this week.
Oh, is there things happening in the world?
There's
Because
some
Carl
things
doesn't
happening.
think there is.
For those that don't remember this particular hot feature,
Yeah.
we basically asks Carl some of the questions that are asked of a white van driver in the Sun. They always have this on Saturday afternoons. Anyway, here's the first one. They're not fascinating, Carl, but I'm just interested on your take, really.
Yeah.
What do you make of Cilla Black quitting Blind Date after her husband sent a message from beyond the grave? You familiar with
I
this
didn't
story?
know that.
Yeah.
What's that?
She went to see a medium, and supposedly her husband passed on information through the medium, which was incredibly vague, but persuaded her to quit live on air.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? If even dead people are saying... enough's enough. But I'll tell you what, though, talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman. I don't even know if it's ghost, really, it's just a bit weird.
Yeah. Sure.
There's this woman,
Yeah.
and she's... Well, she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down, like, a street in her area, it's a nice day and everything. Everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that, right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, you know, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later...
Oh, right, yeah.
She's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike.
She was riding her own bike.
Riding her own bike, cycling down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right.
What do you
Not another child.
No. So it's her, she's seen herself.
Carl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where's this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever? I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I mean, honest. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird, though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen. Nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well,
Who?
then she's wrong.
She said she saw herself.
She saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on riding
And as an
her?
adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself, or did she ride on by and think that's a bit weird? There's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop. I'll be late for work.
yeah. If I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
And where is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No,
You overheard it on the bus.
no, it was in it's in the 14 Times.
Ah, right. Well,
Ah,
that's
okay.
the answer.
Good,
We've
okay.
got to the bottom of that.
Right. Good. Brilliant.
Now, what do you make of David Blunkett accusing gangster rappers of making kids believe guns are cool? It's a hot topic there, Carl, and I imagine you've got some strong opinions.
He's saying what?
He is saying, basically, that all this rap music is advocating gun use and violence against people, and he's very worried about it.
Nah.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Have you thought about going into politics? Because I'll tell you this, they wouldn't be able to argue with you, really, in the Houses of Parliament. They'd have where would they start?
Yeah. My fellow is an idiot.
No, but violence has always been about, hasn't it, like cowboys and Indians. They didn't have PlayStations and Tupac then, and there was still violence.
What do you mean? In the Wild West?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really blame it on stuff. It'll always happen. That's, you know, that's the world, and it's made up of different types and that.
Again, he's right. Again, he's sort of right in a way, in his innocence, in his buffoonery.
I didn't hear what he said.
He just said there's always been violence. You know what I mean? It's sort
Even,
of like,
you know, dinosaurs, look at them. They cause a lot of
and then he
trouble.
went too far and made himself sound
No,
like a fool again.
but I'm just saying, it's always happened, it always will.
Yeah.
Don't try and change it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just chill out is what you're saying.
Do you know what we should do? We should all get on our bike, go and find ourselves when we're little, and go, be careful what you do in life.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was... Oh, this is
This
great.
makes it in the diary.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
I don't know why that's so funny. Oh god.
I got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington. I opened it and the first sentence read, "Dear Mr. K. Dilkington, you're one of our most valuable customers." I put it in the bin.